Okay, let's take a look at the bridge. While I've got this guitar sound up with the Tyler, I can show you the chords that are going on behind it. There's an acoustic guitar in there, there's a groovy electric guitar, and there's a little motif going on all the way through it, which has been layered. Let's look at the chords. The first chord is a B major, but to get the sound, you want the ringing of the top two strings. So, you can do this a number of ways. What I've done is I've layered acoustics and this sort of guitar on the backing track. Basically, it's a B major chord with a nice ringing open B and an open E. So you can play it here. If you imagine a bar chord, just concentrate on the bottom 4 strings. John Mayer is probably playing it with his thumb. Up to a C sharp minor. There's a C sharp minor, barring the 9th fret. And you've got the 11th fret on the A and the D. But again, we want the open strings ringing at the top. So with the thumb over, we can get those strings ringing at the top. Then it goes down to an A. You can play it like this, or play it like this. I did it like this. Open A string. We've got the root there on the 7. On the 3rd on the G, and open B and E. So together you get. And it does it again. Last chord is different. So this last chord is, it's like an A major chord over an F sharp bass. You can also play it here. I played it here. We got the F sharp there, which is on the A string on the 9th fret. We got the root of the A on the 7th fret of the D string, and there's the 3rd on the 6th fret of the G string. But if you want to do an inversion of that chord, you could do it down here. There's the F sharp, 2nd fret of the E, mute the A. There's the A part of the sort of A sus2 part of it. 2nd fret of the D and 2nd fret of the G. You get. So this part could also be played down here. Which is what the acoustics are doing. They're sort of giving big movement to this part, but different inversions, panned left and right, you get a big sound. Also, while I got this guitar sound on, there's that motif that carries through these bridges, which is basically doing this. So again, you want this B string ringing. The first one seems to do this. And that is holding the 3rd in the chord, which is the 6th fret the 8th fret on the G. You're hammering on to this E note, which is 9 on the G. Keeping that 3rd in the chord, going down to the root on the 9th fret. Once it does that, it just carries on ringing the G and the B string. And once you get to the sort of the 4th bar, it goes back to the just for twice, and then back to the. I mean, that part is so layered up that if you get something close to that. The second second time round of that bridge section, it has a different ending. This goes right up to the wire of that that first bridge. It goes right up to the end of the chord sequence. This motif. But on the second bridge, we've got a that's just sort of coming. It's a nice way to come out of that. It's buried in the track, but it definitely does that. That's just so you imagine you're going to the end of the bridge. And that simply is going up on the G string, the 8, 9, catching the 7 on the B. And you're still left with that third in the chord. And we can hit that A suspended. Open A, and there's the root on the 7, and on the G is the 6th fret, it's the 3rd. There also seems to be an electric guitar part buried in there, which is what I've put on the backing track, giving also another sort of smear of the sound, doing this. It's almost like sort of a very 12-stringy. That's buried in there as well. All that is, you know, it's the same sort of notes you're doing, but instead you're just ringing the top E. So you might want to do that if you're going to perform this part. You might want to try that out instead of the. This is just holding that, the G string on the G8. There's the open top E string, and there's our root note on the D string, which is the 9th fret. So you might want to play along to the track or our backing tracks and see which part you fancy. But basically, the motif is this. Refer heavily to the original, but that's the part that's going on the bridge.